Hello, hello, hello. I am Antoinette, Coach Ross, the boss of Project Execute, your vision catalyst. I work to improve the lives of my clients, especially women and girls, from the inside out by answering their pertinent questions of who, why, what, when, and how to be more successful in their lives. The focus areas are self concept, goal imagery and creation, and finally, accountability. We live our lives on different levels at all times. Within my coaching practice, there are 10 areas of concentration in abundant love that makes up our being and create our lives. The 10 areas are metaphysical, spiritual, mental, emotional, physical, personal, relational, professional, financial, and political. Sunday is my first day of the week where I pursue mind elevation and spiritual edification to prepare for what the week ahead may have in store. Today's message is about obedience, compliance with an order, request, or law or submission to another's authority. I am speaking of obedience to your higher calling. There are several aspects of living a life of obedience. I am familiar with these aspects because personally I've had to learn them in order to transform my life, a life of not adhering to authority, which had the potential of being reckless. The aspects I have had to learn are trust, order, standards, direction, action, and habits. We start out off a life of obedience with trust. The magnitude of blessings that you receive when you live a life of obedience is based on trust. It's built on trust, actually. This kind of trust can be referred to as blind faith. You know within yourself that if you are obedient to your higher calling, it will result in blessings for you and yours. Next, there's order. There's always order when it comes to your higher calling. The, there is order in how to complete the actions given to you to show your obedience. The actions are in order to get the expected result. Standards is third. Standards are set for the actions of obedience. You cannot complete the actions of obedience any kind of way and still be in obedience. There's an expectation of completing these actions in excellence. If you do not complete them in excellence, you have to do them over and over and over again until you do. Next comes direction. Obedience builds trust, and direction can take you down a path that is totally unfamiliar to your thinking mind. The trust, order, and standards of obedience give direction and points you where you are going to end up. A lot of times we begin questioning and doubt because we are looking from a point of view of the here and now. Obedience is always going to take you somewhere different in your mind and in your physical being. Next, there's action. Always in obedience, you complete your actions in excellence, as stated before, because of the order and standards set for a life of obedience. Once you complete your actions, more likely you are going to form habits, which is next. Order, standards, and actions lead to forming beneficial habits. These habits construct the actions needed for a life of obedience, a life of trust, a life of order, standards, actions completed in excellence. Completing the actions of obedience is ultimately for the betterment of self, family, and others. Obedience of parents' instructions can lead to an easier childhood. Obedience of the doctor's orders can lead to better health. Obedience of the teacher can lead to gaining a better education. Obedience to your higher calling will lead to a better life overall. I am Antoinette, Coach Ross, the boss of Project Execute, your vision catalyst. Today's message is about obedience, compliance with an order, request, or law, or submission to another's authority. Thank you for your time, and remember, the actions that you take and even those you don't create your life. Create wisely.